TallyHoe. Bullshit. Fucking vacations.
Mic check 1, 2.
2.
You ready? Real
ready.
talk. Chicken and Rice podcast. I want to tell you, say, no other podcast now have nothing on the podcast, yeah. You have truth, reality, anything you want to hear, I say I go hear it. You hear me? Chicken and Rice podcast with my man Dodge and my homegirl Ray. That's how we are do it. Reggae style, all right? Respect.
Hey, yo. Thanks for sharing part of your day with us. This is the Chicken and Rice podcast. I'm Dodge P, and I'm here with my best friend, my confidant, my right-hand woman, the most beautiful girl in the world inside and out, my wife. Say hello, baby.
Well, hello, beautiful people, and welcome. I'm Ray, and I'm so excited to share our journey and everything in between with you guys. The best part about it, I get to do it with my husband and my very best friend. I really couldn't ask for anything better than that. I love you, babe. You the shh. Now let's do this.
Yo. My mic sound nice. I did a mic test and my mic's still jacked up. Mic test, mic. My headphones too loud. All right, cool. Chicken and Rice podcast, episode 24, right? 24?
That's what it says.
24. I because we've been off for a week, we had to go on vacation. Sorry, we couldn't take you with us. We thought about doing the pod when we were away, but we were just like,
You carried those heavy mics.
I just had this conversation with one of my friends, and I said, yo, I put all of this shit into my bag to do all this great stuff while I'm away, and like nothing ever gets taken out the bag. And this was kind of the same thing. Like I packed the mics, was ready to go, and the mics were a whole separate case, which took up another hand. So I could have easily left the mics home and my travel would have been a little bit easier. But anyway,
But we did do a recording in Barcelona, just didn't record.
Yeah, that was the first time. Kind of like
So.
the retake of this one. We started talking and my line wasn't live. So we had to start over. But so we went to Canada, TallyHoe. I said TallyHoe.
TallyHoe. TallyHoe.
I don't know what it means.
I don't know what that means.
I have no idea. So we went to what the hell is the name of this place? It was
Who said that? Which
brewery.
restaurant?
It was
the first night.
Yeah, something brewery. Anyway, food was wasn't that good.
It was so. So basically, we went to Toronto for our anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
The original plan was Iceland. We waited too long. There were no more flights available, so we're gonna save that for our 10th anniversary. 10th.
I'd rather save it for the 10th one. So
I don't know where that came from. TallyHoe.
I say the 10th one.
But
The 10th anniversary.
so we just wanted somewhere like quick to get away for a few days. We were there for 4 nights.
Right.
So we went to Toronto. It was cold. Just smidge. A little bit.
I didn't choose that.
It was a little bit cold.
So.
But I still had a good time. We did eat at a lot of different places. No, we went to the same place a couple times.
Right.
But we ate at a couple ramen spots for the first time, which being like avid noodle eaters, I'm surprised that we haven't eaten at a ramen spot yet.
Because there are none close to the house.
There's one that I told you about that you refused to go with me, that my girlfriend told me about like a couple months ago. So
Yeah, I'm not sure if I refuse anything, but okay. We had never been to one in Philadelphia. So.
well, I'm telling you.
Oh, all right, go ahead.
I'm telling you that I
listening.
told you about it. And I asked you a couple of times, do you want to go there? And you was
Right.
like, yeah, no. I was like, okay, whatever. So at least that's one that I know of. In Philadelphia, I feel like we don't have many ramen spots because I really don't know any besides the one that my girlfriend told me about. I think it's around Frankfurt Ave.
Okay.
But there are a lot of Vietnamese pho places. So
True. But
so
not
that's
all
what we
pho is
eat
the
all
same.
time. Not all pho. Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Sort of
only
like we
to go
found
to
out
one
like
place.
all ramen ain't the same.
Right. So we did go to 2 ramen spots and it was very different.
Mm-hmm.
And we liked the first one that we went to. So we went back again. Of course, I messed up the order. It was still good, but we wanted it spicy and I didn't order the spicy one. But anyway, overall, there was things that I really liked about Toronto and there were things that drove me a little bit insane.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, we know
the insane stuff first.
We know that Drake and The Weeknd are from Toronto. We know that.
Justin Bieber too, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, I don't know either. I
don't know. I have no idea. I am a big Drake fan. I'm a big Weeknd fan.
Right.
Not those days where I was up there, and I'm not even exaggerating when I tell you this.
Right.
We only listened to about, I think, 2 stations. One was kind of like a pop station, and then one was a hip hop station because I couldn't really find anything else.
Right.
So every other song was either Drake or The Weeknd or both of them together.
True.
And it, like, I promise you, I'm not even like exaggerating.
Big facts.
It was literally The Weeknd. Random song, Drake. Random song, Weeknd.
Right.
Random song, Drake.
Right.
I was like, oh my God. So I would flip to the pop station. Same thing. And I was like, this is such a turnoff. It's like, either if you didn't like their music before, you listened to it so much that it grew on you.
Right.
Or if you liked it, you got so sick of it that you don't even want to listen. I didn't want to listen. Every time they came on a station, I just flipped to the other station. Then I was getting messed up because both stations had either one or the other on. And I was like, oh,
it was
God.
It was a
turn off.
It was a big infusion of Drake in the veins, in the ears, over the last 4 days. And it wasn't even like, and I won't even say it wasn't even like a whole assortment of his music. It was pretty much the same songs over and over again.
It was the newer ones that were out, but it was also, when it wasn't the newer ones, they just plucked some ones that from his old albums. And I was just like, can y'all just play something else? Like, there's other music out there.
It was tough.
It was because we spent most of the time in the car because we rented a car and we kind of drove everywhere.
Right.
So that's all we heard was just Drake and Weeknd, Drake and Weeknd, Drake and Weeknd. I was like, oh my God, this is just, it's literally too much.
It's tough.
It was too much.
So the first night we ate at Amsterdam Brew House. That's the name of the place.
That's the name. Okay.
Amsterdam
it was right on
Brew
the
House.
water.
We couldn't have picked a better hotel for location.
Oh, it was awesome.
I kind of cheated on the Toronto trip. I didn't do a lot of research about where to go because I felt like it was like a city more than it was like even though we're in a different country, Toronto to me was just like city. We're gonna have to find the stuff that's closest to us and just roll the dice. So the hotel that I picked was pretty dope. I would have rather had gone in the summertime. I know it would have been more popping. It was right on the water. I think it was Lake Ontario. I think it was right on the water.
Yes.
Like right and smack in the middle of downtown, 2 blocks from the CN Tower. It was pretty much next to everything.
All the stadiums were literally right around the corner. Was it Rogers
so I think
Stadium? And it was also what is that?
Scotiabank Arena.
Yes.
Yep. So I think we were in what is called the entertainment district. So Toronto's broken up into different districts. So we stayed in entertainment district, which is right downtown. Like I said, restaurant was dope. Everything, I mean, not the restaurant, hotel was dope. Restaurant food was so at the Amsterdam brewery. Wasn't impressed. I felt like it was overpriced for the quality. It was pretty much glorified beer food, food, right? Mm-hmm. My drink was okay. It was a chocolate
martini,
chocolate chip martini or something like that. That was decent. But it was, I felt like it was overpriced. Atmosphere was decent. They had like a brewery, like
an actual brewery
in glass that you could kind of see if they were brewing anything, but it didn't look like it was. It didn't look like anything was going on the night we went. What else? Oh, if you're going to Toronto, listen, bruvs, parking is ridiculous.
That was something else that drove me insane. There's no parking, and the parking is very limited time-wise. Like, it'll say, like, you can't park on this particular street from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. or something when you actually need to park. You either had to not drive,
right,
or you had to park in a parking lot,
right.
So it was very inconvenient. The parking was horrendous.
Parking was horrendous.
It was really bad. We spent all our money on parking, on food and parking, and literally that's all we spent our money on. We didn't buy anything. I'm not really one for souvenirs unless I really see something that I want. But it was literally just like food and parking. That's it.
So basically, the rental car for 4 days cost $80.
Yeah, it was nothing.
Parking for 4
A few
days
$100s.
costs about $250,
$250, $300.
$250 to $300 for parking.
Yeah.
At the hotel, it was $120, $120 for the first for the 4 nights, and then just having to go around in the city and finding places to park every time you had to come out your pocket. So it was pretty. It was pretty. It was a turnoff, and I guess that's partly our fault too, because I didn't do the research. I didn't realize that parking was going to be such a hassle, and because it's kind of like trying to park downtown Philadelphia. You wouldn't expect to be able to find a lot of parking downtown Philadelphia, and the same is for Toronto. I didn't know what I thought Toronto was going to be. I was really surprised that Toronto is probably more urban than Philadelphia is. They definitely have more skyscrapers than we do. And there's so much construction going on right now. I don't know where all the people are going to come from.
Yeah, it's the whole city is like everywhere you turn, it's
Right.
literally under construction. So it's booming.
Yep.
It's booming right now. I saw a lot of like Indian, Middle Eastern,
Right.
ton of Asian people.
Right.
So it was like it was a good mix of everybody. So yeah.
It definitely was. Downtown, I hardly saw any black people. I was like, yo, like, I would expect to see like handful of black people, like every time I turn around. Like, look, I didn't, and I'm not saying this to say anything other than it's really interesting to go to a place and not see people of color or black people, because there were definitely people of color. A lot of Indian, right? Indian,
Middle Eastern.
yeah. Definitely a lot of Asian folks, and
We're everywhere.
yeah,
I feel like every single country we ever go to, there's always like a ton of Asian people.
yeah.
You can drive down certain parts and think you're in Philadelphia.
right.
So I was a little bit surprised about that. I didn't really know what to expect either. But it was interesting. I do agree. If it was warm outside, we would have done a lot more walking. We
Right.
would have spent a lot more time outside. But it was still decent, to see everything. But to go back to parking really quick, you said it was kind of like Philadelphia. It was, but it wasn't. Philadelphia, at least, we have a lot of those one-way streets downtown. But on Chestnut, on Market, on all these streets, you can park on both sides. Toronto was no parking. It was just no parking. It was no parking from basically sun up to sundown. So there was no parking on the sides. There was no parking on the main streets. There was just no parking. I was like, where do people park who live here, who don't want to catch the bus or the trolley or the whatever that they have, the trains. So I was just really like, it was all parking lots. Like, it was weird. There was no parking. Like when you turn onto Chestnut Street, like I said, you'll have parking.
Right.
There's just no parking.
I mean, I could see it. It forces people to either use public transportation or bike, which was also, we saw a lot of people.
We saw a lot of people on bikes.
We public transportation is live in effect, and it seems like people use it. But I can't imagine that if you live downtown, you probably don't even own a car. So I get it. But like I said, we weren't expecting it. So it was frustrating, but at the same time, I could see the direction that the city is taking as far as, forcing people to use alternate means of transportation, because even their highway system has carpool lanes. We don't even have that here in Philadelphia. And shit, I can't even remember where else I've seen. I've seen them in Texas, and I've seen carpool lanes in California.
California, right.
I'm not even sure if they're in Florida. So if you're trying to push for a cleaner environment, I guess that's the way to do it, is to force people to, choose a different mode of transportation other than a car. One car, one person doesn't make a lot of sense, but, it is what it is. So, also visited Niagara Falls on a rainy,
cold, weird day, but it was the warmest day, so that's why I decided to pick that day. But it was crazy because the CN Tower completely disappeared that day. We came outside and the fog was so low and so thick that the tower actually completely disappeared. You couldn't see a silhouette. You couldn't see anything.
Right.
So that was kind of weird looking.
It was eerie.
It was freaky.
Right.
But we went there, and when we got there, it was raining. So we were like, all right, let's go get an umbrella. So we went to pick up an umbrella, and by the time we came back, the rain stopped.
Right.
And then it started snowing a little bit, and then it was raining again, and then it was freezing, and then it was not raining anymore, and then we went inside for a second, and we came out, and it was kind of warm outside, and it started raining. It
was definitely a weird weather pattern going on. Right around the falls.
It was, but the falls are beautiful. I really didn't know what to expect. I've seen a couple pictures here and there, but to actually be there, it was beautiful. It was. I can definitely picture it during the summertime or like the springtime when it's really nice outside and the water's pretty clear.
Right.
The falls are just massive, and then where it hits, all the smoke just rises up. So
all the mist, baby.
Yeah, mist.
That's not smoke.
Whatever, you know what I
mist,
mean.
Damn it.
Mist, smoke, fog.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of the falls. And actually, the falls are interesting. But it's just that water that's like at the bottom of the falls and right before it actually falls over the rocks, the cliff. Like that's the water that's really interesting because that water is crazy. I can't imagine.
You said people go in barrels or something.
Yeah, you gotta Google it. Like they just, get in these.
They just drop down the falls. I'm like, I want to live, so I'm okay with that.
I mean, a lot of people die doing it, but some people survive. I think it's a crime to do it too. So they have to like kamikaze somehow get in the water. And when we drove further down that little lane or that little road that travels alongside the falls, you could see how people could actually do it. I don't know why they would want to.
I'm good on that.
I don't know why they would want to do it. And there's also I think, was there a boat out there when we were there?
I think there was a boat on the bottom
that goes to. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. Water, like I have two fears, two like drowning and getting burnt to death. Those are my two fears. So I'm not sure I could ever get on a boat that was that close to that kind of turbulence. You know what I mean?
Right. Listen, it was. Is a force to be reckoned with. Right. I wouldn't mess with it. My fears are height and the water because it's just an element that you don't want to mess with.
And you can't beat it.
You can't beat it. Is the most beautiful and interesting thing in the world. The ocean, or whatever type of body of water,
right?
But it's so vast and it's so deep and it's so like to just think that it goes miles and miles and there's like a whole other world down there. It freaks me out. It intrigues me, but it freaks me out. And then the fact that I really can't swim like that really freaks me out. So I can't open my eyes underwater. I can't do any of this thing. I'll just drown. I would just drown. I think I would die of a heart attack before I even hit the water.
No, I think you would. Because you would get through it. Because you have the basics, you wouldn't drown on your own.
Oh my God.
Like there would be, because you have the basics of how to swim, I think you would live.
So I can doggy paddle.
Right.
And
that should have turned into full breaststrokes.
And I can like swim underwater, but I can't see where I'm going because I can't open my eyes underwater. They burn so bad.
I mean, a lot of people learn to swim by just getting thrown in the water.
Sure.
I learned to swim because I actually jumped into a pool. This was when I lived in Los Angeles. Like all our apartment buildings have like pools in the middle. They wasn't very deep, but like anything that goes over your head could drown you. Even stuff that don't go over your head could drown you. So one afternoon, I just jumped in and realized I jumped in the wrong end. And that was my first lesson on swimming. It scared me, but I got to the side and then forget it. Let's try it again. And so I did. That's how I learned to swim. I did that all day. And before you knew it, by the end of that day, I had taught myself to swim after never being able to swim.
Yeah, that's crazy. As much as we're in the water, on vacation, in the ocean, in the sea, and in the pools, wherever, I just have that fear and that respect for water. I don't mess with it like that. So, but yeah, there was a chick that I used to follow on Instagram. I think her name is Hannah Mermaid, and she takes these amazing photos in the Bahamas with the sharks, and she
Right.
can hold her breath for a few minutes, and she takes these literally just breathtaking photos with like whales and stuff, just swimming beside it with no fear. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
no breathing apparatus, nothing.
That's dope.
And I'm just like, wow, like I wish that I can do that, because like I said, the water is beautiful,
Right.
but it scares me to death. It really does.
Yeah, I can't.
It's very
like,
scary.
All that underwater big fish stuff, no thank you. Like
I mean, stingrays like the size of this room. She's just like swimming with them, and I'm like, wow.
yeah, I guess you gotta have I guess first of all, you know what animal. Shit, any animal I guess could jack you up.
Anytime.
But to swim with a shark, yeah, no thanks.
Hundreds of sharks.
Like even
Yeah.
a whale. You know what I mean? Like a whale, I know whales are like not really meat eaters, but still just to think that joint could open his mouth and I could just fall right in there. Like imagine if you were swimming by a whale, that joint opened his mouth and then the suction sucked you in.
No, I don't want to imagine
Yeah.
that.
No thanks. No thanks, Hannah Mermaid. You can have that. Yeah. See, that's the type of shit I think about. Like, yeah, I'll be chilling next to the whale, open his mouth, and then when it opens his mouth, it creates a vacuum and sucks me in. Yeah, nah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not with that.
I'm good. I'm good on that.
Because that's the type of story you hear. You know what I mean? Like, oh, what happened? I don't know. He's swimming by the whale yawned and he fell in his mouth. That would be how I would, trying to get like one of them photos. That would be me inside a whale's stomach. Like just, drowning. That would be 2 feet. Like, yeah, no, in the dark. Yeah, I'm good. So, Toronto also has legal weed. And me being me, I probably walked into the store that was illegally selling weed.
Of course you did.
And how, I have no idea. Because I saw the name on on my Waze app. I said, oh, I'm going to go. No, I think I looked it up. Saw the name. So I said, I'm going to go there. So I go in and I knew something is off because all I see is paraphernalia. Pipes, lighters, ashtrays, all the smoker shit, right? And then one dude comes with a dog. The dog,
Mabel.
what was the dog's name?
Mabel.
Okay.
She was the cutest puppy. Big puppy, but she was the cute.
Right. So he's all, loosey goosey. Yeah, I'm like, yo, what, like weird. You know what I mean? And he's like, I bet you if you're 18, I'll give you a joint. I'm like, what? Bro, I'm 45. And I didn't have my ID. So I had to go back to the car, get the ID.
You don't know how old you are?
I know how old I am. 45. So go get my passport, come back in. So I'm talking to the dude at the counter. This is how I knew they was doing it illegally. Talking to the dude at the counter like, yo, y'all sell XYZ? He don't even look at me. He looks at the guy with the dog and says, who's handling that? And I was like, oh, okay. We in the wrong spot, but while we're here, we just enjoy. So I go show him my passport. He says, go back to, you see that window back there? And I look back into the room and I'm like, there's no window back there. It's just a bunch of art on the wall and some curtains that look like art. And then all of a sudden, one of the curtains swing open. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, there's the window. Then he's like, okay, go to the door. And I'm like, what? I got to fill out this form, like, saying I'm not the cops. All this other shit that says, yeah, you came to the one illegal weed spot in Toronto. So then they're like, okay, go to the door. And I don't see a door. And I'm just like, yo, they playing games. Then all of a sudden, this door out of nowhere pops open. And we go inside and it's like, a small counter, a whole bunch of different variations of everything. But I knew it had to be illegal just the way that the whole setup was set up. You know what I mean?
Of course, there was a store right across the street that says all the weed stuff in the world.
Right.
Right on the window. And you decided to go to a different one.
Well, you know what? It wouldn't have been a trip of ours if some shit like that didn't happen. So
secret trap doors and windows.
Right. Like the only illegal, probably not the only one, but hey, I don't get it. I guess you need a license or something. That's why he had to do it between the trick windows and the hidden doorways and shit. So, but other than that, people were very friendly.
Yes.
Drive the speed limit. Everything is queen to the queen. Queen this, queen that.
Yeah.
And trying to think what else. Just a better place than I thought it was going to be. I didn't appreciate the cold. I'm never a fan of the cold.
I'll take the cold over the heat.
I think we would have got a lot more stuff done had we, because we would have been able to venture more had it been warmer. So we'd have been able to walk more, I'm sure.
That I agree.
We would have saw a lot. We would have saw a lot more stuff if it was a little warmer.
We wanted to go to the island.
Right.
But we had to catch a ferry and it was too cold.
Yeah. So like I said,
too cold.
Toronto was great. Hour and a half a ride away. Hour and a half.
It wasn't even an hour flight. It was like an hour and 5 minutes.
Mm.
It literally was an hour and 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's, a third of the time it takes to fly to Miami.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So if you want like a quick getaway you want to smoke or you want to chill.
Yeah, you don't have to go to Amsterdam no more or Colorado.
An hour flight.
People, yeah. What can I say? I guess don't try to bring it back. I don't even know what the laws are anymore.
I don't know.
Because it's legal in some states in Connecticut. Wow. It's legal in some states in the U.S. and it's legal over. I don't even know how it works anymore. It's just nuts. But I hear people talk about, they didn't let me in Canada. I didn't see anybody get turned away. So I don't know what you guys guys have done.
It was actually pretty easy. The thing that was annoying was I was randomly selected on the way back to get all my bags fully searched. That was fun. I really don't like people going through my shit.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes through my bags and throws away my lotion and whatever. But that was annoying. But besides that, everything was pretty smooth.
Right.
To get into the country and to come back home, everything was pretty smooth.
Yeah, I can't complain about the customs. It was really easy.
It was easy. I would say overall, it was a nice little getaway. It was definitely something different. As a place we haven't been to. I checked something else off the bucket list with the falls, and that's it.
Yeah, I never. Yeah, I guess the falls were never on my radar. I figured falls were in New York. We get there anytime, but I can't complain about the trip. It's probably a redo, but like summertime, like a spring or autumn, summertime redo. Because I was supposed to link up with the sixth guy while I was up there, but I kept missing his call. You would be asleep, and then he would be like, "Yo, y'all can link up with me at about the one day it was 11 a.m. But you didn't get ready till like after 11:01, so we couldn't link up with him."
You hear this bullshit?
I was in the shower. I missed his call. We just kept playing like phone tag. And so, I don't know. Maybe next time we'll link up. What you think?
You really want to know what?
Yes.
You really want to know what I think?
Yeah.
I think you need to stop the bullshit. This should get on my nerves.
What?
Anyway.
You saw all the missed calls, right?
No. Overall, the trip was cool. It was a nice little getaway.
Mm-hmm.
Hit the restart button. It was cool.
Mm.
We had a nice relaxing time.
Right.
Nothing was rushed.
Right.
Nothing was overly done. Nothing was we had to do this, go there. We don't have enough time. No, we did a lot of stuff during the day, and we also had a lot of time to rest in between before we went back out for dinner.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't talk about the restaurant real quick.
Go ahead.
And then we can move on to the next thing.
Go
because this is already like more than half the show. So we went to the CN Tower for the 360 restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what the restaurant does is it rotates very, very, very slowly. And in about, I think, an hour's time, it does a full 360. So you can actually see all the different parts of the city.
Right.
You see the water.
Right.
It was pretty cool because you can actually see, was it Niagara? We did see Niagara across across the lake.
Right.
And it was, I don't remember how many miles he said. Was it 60 miles?
He
70
said it was
miles?
like 45, 50
Was
kilometers.
it 40? Yeah, of course, Americans, we don't use metric, and we're the only ones who don't use metric. But it was pretty dope. The food, I would give the food 6.5 out of 10.
The salad was probably the best.
Yeah, their Caesar salad wasn't Caesar dressing because I don't eat Caesar salad, but it was really good. It was not Caesar.
Yeah, I don't know what that
at
was.
All.
It was good. It
was good.
Surprisingly.
But the food overall, I would give
of 1
it
to 10, probably like a
6.5.
Yeah.
I would give it a 6.5. I won't say I was really impressed. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't the best thing I've had. So 6.5.
It It almost felt like cruise food.
Almost.
You know?
Yeah, almost. I wasn't impressed, but I
Right.
didn't hate it.
Right.
So, yeah, I would give it that.
And we after that we went out and if you eat there then you could go to the observatory and to the glass floor joint, which is I guess you get that with your meal, I guess. And that was scary.
What's scary when you look down and there's
See the ground?
Yeah, but like way, way down. Like I was getting like my stomach was starting to hurt looking down. I was getting like the tinglies in my
was
belly.
getting the bubble guts.
It wasn't the bubble guts. My nerves were making my No. Maybe it gave you the bubble guts. It just
stand by the shit.
It was really like freaky.
That's that.
See.
Listen.
That's that fear. Just
that's that. Listen. That's that shit. That's that sense that we can't tap into on our own. It comes. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, where does that feeling come from? It's crazy.
Not a good feeling at all. It just.
Yeah.
It was just like a weird, tingly, like illness feeling. Like I feel a little nauseous. Like.
Right.
You stepped on the glass.
I walked across all four planks.
I did not, because if I did, I'd be the one to fall through. So
that glass probably 2-3 inches
I
thick.
don't care. Good for it.
Probably double paned. You got like 12 inches of glass right there. I don't think for that thing to break, you'd have to do some real damage.
It's a mental thing.
It is definitely mental because I had them same bubbles. I had them same bubbles, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just walk across it. Like, get over it. Like,
it was.
If this is the way I go, this would be some bullshit, but it'd be just another great story. Like, yo, what happened? Oh, he fell through the floor of the CN Tower. Are you serious? Like, come on.
Yeah, no.
All right. It's easier than that bridge, I guess. So that all glass bridge. But if you go to the what's our national park? Yellowstone. They have a thing like that too. I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. It is what it is. So that was Canada.
That was Canada.
So I don't have. That's all I have on my list.
You don't have anything else? What's all this?
Let's see. When I got back, I caught up on my TV show, The 90 Days Fiancé. Everybody got married except 2 people. And those 2 people were the ones who couldn't get their fiancés to the States. I guess you got to be in love to marry a dude that you can't even speak to without a translator. I don't get that at all. But this was the one who couldn't tell his people that the girl he was engaged to had kids. Listen, how y'all be keeping these secrets? I have no idea. So there was a dude who was a beekeeper. He met a beekeeper here in the United States. He was it Ukraine? He was something, but he was like the first son, so he had all this responsibility on him. You kind of relate with your brother being the oldest son, and he bears a lot of responsibility for the family. So one of the things was like one of the rules was he couldn't link up with a chick who had either been married or who had kids. So when he met this chick who was also a beekeeper, he kept the fact that she had kids away from his mom, his people. And when he finally told his people, they was like, yo, leave her. And he left her.
Oh, wow.
And then came back. I think that it was a setup. Because
Okay.
he left her, went back to Ukraine, came back from Ukraine like the next day. They reapproved his visa or whatever. And then when he got back, they only had 3 hours to get married. So that show was just weird. It's just weird. I don't know if I could do 90 Day Fiancé from like another country where you like, could you do it?
I'm not really into all this.
Just like the concept, like arranged marriages or 90 day. Yeah,
not at all.
It's tough.
Now, I can't do anything arranged because I need to pick my mate. I need to have the connection before I get married. It's very common in a lot of different countries. Mm-hmm. It's very common in Cambodia that they have arranged marriages. Actually, they would marry the girls off kind of young. I would say like 15, 16. And
was that for financial reasons? For
I don't really know what the reasons are.
Right.
Why they would marry so early and so young, but Cambodian culture, like a lot of other cultures around the world where there's like skin bleaching and stuff, it's like they look at Cambodians really like look at light skin as like a prize or as like a
sort of like the rest of the world.
Sort
almost.
of like the rest of the world. So I guess they kind of look at it like when your skin is dark, and Cambodians are naturally very, very dark skinned. My grandfather was pretty much black. My grandmother was very fair skinned. But because I do have the Chinese mix, I'm pretty fair skinned. In the summertime, I get a nice brownish, real dark tan color.
Right.
Right now, I'm as pale as anything. But they look at that, it's like the thing to look for. So let's say if your son is dark skinned, they're going to try to find a light skinned wife for him so that when they have children, the child's complexion will hopefully be on the lighter side. So
Okay.
that's like a big thing for them. I remember my mom telling me before, she would tell me stories when I was younger, or like something that was going on, like, oh, blah, 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 she's engaged she's engaged. And there's a girl that I knew, a Cambodian girl. And I was like, oh, how is her fiance? How's the husband? Is he handsome?
Right.
Oh, he's very light skinned. I was like, I didn't ask if he was light skinned. Is he good looking? Well, I guess, yeah, he's light skinned. They just go right back they just revert right back to the skin color. So it's a big thing because I think they look at it as also like as a class thing.
Right.
Because if you're dark skinned, you're working in the fields.
Right.
Cambodia is in Southeast Asia. It is a very tropical region. It is not like China or Japan where there's snow-capped mountains and this and that. No, we have 2 seasons. We have dry season and monsoons. So 6 months of rain and 6 months of dry. Heat.
Right.
So it's tropical weather. So if you're dark skinned, they look at it like your family is poor, your family work in the fields, in the farm, you're farmers. And, so when you are light skinned, you're more privileged and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of like ingrained in their mind. It's pretty sad and it's so crazy because you come to the States and everyone is paying for tans until they get cancer because they want dark skin. Whatever. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It is in the eye of whatever region or whatever you're in. It's very interesting. But no, arranged marriages are a big thing, but they try to, if one of the person is dark skinned, they try to find a light skinned mate. So it's very interesting.
Weird.
It's weird.
I never had any arranged marriages, but
I would hope.
I couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I would hope not.
I don't even know. I mean, some people go with it. Like, I don't. Yeah.
But they say that technically or statistically, arranged marriages last longer than marriages that aren't arranged. And one of the reasoning for that is that when you meet somebody and the sparks fly, they eventually dim or go out completely. They say that when you have an arranged marriage, that little by little you actually get to know the person and you grow to eventually love them. Instead of, you learn about them and you get to know them and you literally just build a life together out of no choice of your own, but which is crazy to me. But it ends up lasting longer than these marriages with these people that are so in love 1 second, hate each other the next second. So I thought that was pretty interesting, but yeah, I couldn't do it. I mean, it's one thing if the marriage is arranged and it does work out. Right. That's great, but yeah, no, not for me.
Plus, I wouldn't trust my family to make the right decision.
Can you imagine?
No, I can't imagine.
Can you imagine Bogey picking somebody up for you or your mom or something?
I could not. I could not.
I cannot.
Yeah,
no.
I'm good. So Nah, I don't trust them because they had me all jacked up for all the wrong reasons.
Right.
Yeah, nah.
So if they were to ask you, if they were to try to take into account what you like, would you say that you have a type or nah? Or
No, I don't have a type.
you don't have a type at all?
No.
Okay, I don't need. Okay,
Definitely don't have a type.
I don't have a type either. It's almost weird to me when someone has a specific type.
Yeah, and some people date the same person over and over again. I'm just like,
over
are
and
you
over.
serious? Yeah.
I literally, if we vibe, we vibe. If we don't, we don't.
Yeah.
So it's not like a looks thing for me. It's not a race thing. It's not a height thing. It's not a job thing. It's not any of those things. It's like, yo,
I think
chemistry.
Yeah, definitely no time. Just it is what it is. Like you said, there I have some superficial requirements, I guess.
I think those are pluses for me. I think that because I've dated or talked to dudes that I think in societies wouldn't call them like good looking at all. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't bother me because if I like you,
Right.
I like you.
But I think that's what women.
That's
in
a
general.
plus. To me, that's a plus. Like
Right.
if you're really handsome or just really good looking or whatever, I do have an issue. I think I would have an issue if, I'm not saying that you're not good looking because you're very handsome to me and you're very good looking. But if you were like too pretty, whereas you like look too much better than me, you give me a complex. Like if
Kind of complex.
I don't know. I think you would just, I don't know. But I think that, because I said before, I think David Beckham is gorgeous, but too good looking for me. Like he's so beautiful that it's almost like I don't want to deal with it. Like I don't want to, I don't know.
Deal with his beauty.
Deal with all the stuff that comes with it.
He just woke up like that though.
I'm talking about just the women and the but not even just that. It's just like, yo, dude, you look too much better than me. Like I'm good. Like you're making me feel some type of way. Like you just wake up all good looking and stuff. Like no.
He woke up like that.
Yeah, he did. He was
I don't have
born
an
like
issue
that.
with I don't have an issue with like I'm never worried about like none of that shit. There's like my filter is so like refined that there's a lot of shit that just don't bother me that would bother other people. But having a chick that's too good looking would not be one of them. It's just because
I think it's almost a little bit different for a guy than
Why?
it is for a girl.
Why do you think that? I'm just asking.
So I think in society, and this is just my thought.
Right.
So let me know if you agree with me or not.
Of course. I'll let you
In
know.
society, this society, American society, a woman who has a guy that's like so, it's
Average.
like average or whatever, it's more acceptable for some reason than when a guy of, let's say he's privileged or famous or this and that or whatever. Let's take famous people. For example, the girl has like a straight up butt ugly dude. Nobody says anything. Nobody really cares. It's just like, oh, whatever. Yeah, cool. But if a guy has like a chick that isn't what people expect him to have, it's like a big thing. So for example, Kit Harington, which is Jon Snow.
Okay.
For my Game of Thrones watchers. So his girlfriend or wife in real life is the wildling, the redhead.
Right.
And he, to me, is much more beautiful than she is. So it's a shame that a lot of people talk so much trash about it. Another example, Power Dude, Ghost. What's his Amari?
Okay.
Amari Hardwick. So his wife, I feel so bad that he always has to defend her because people are like, why is he married to this ugly tranny and blah blah blah. Like they're rough. People are really rough. But you see what I'm saying though? Like they're hard on the women that these guys date or marry. But when girls, it's not as like a big deal as, oh, he's ugly or oh, he's whatever, this and that.
I guess I get both sides. Like to me, the wildling, she's not bad looking. She's probably average. I never really looked at Omari's wife like in real life. I get it, but I don't get it. It doesn't. I wondered like who are the people saying this shit? You know what I mean? Like what type of people are saying this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So is it fans? Is it somebody who is probably not good looking themselves? A lot of times, here's what I feel. I feel a lot of times people will try to push down, I guess. If I can't think of the term that I want to use, but say for instance, there are a lot of chicks who see themselves with Omari. So no matter how decent his wife would look, they would find something wrong with her. It's just, I think that's just human nature, I guess.
It's funny too, though, because then you'll have the women, the guys that have these model chicks and trophies on their arms, and then the women are like, "Oh, why can't he get a normal girl?"
That's what I'm saying.
So it's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Right.
No one is ever happy. You will never be able to make everyone happy. So it's just like, who cares?
Right.
Just do what you do.
Right.
So I think if I was famous, I don't think I would have a social media or really want to even know what's going on unless it was to put stuff out there that was important to me, which is just like charities and like different things like that, you know what I mean? But when it comes to the other kind of stuff, I don't think I would want people in my business or I don't want to hear the BS because there's so many trolls. Like the trolls are out of control.
Well, you'd have to be able to
be able to deal with it, yeah. But I would.
You'd have to go to a shrink or something, maybe, because you'd have to. That's one of the, I guess, pitfalls of being a celebrity. Like people are gonna be in your business regardless. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's tough. Like I said, it's tough, and that was a great example of like people are gonna have something to say regardless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the better the people who are most happy are probably those who can block all of that shit out. I mean, because and we never know how those people who we deem good looking feel about themselves. They could feel like they look like shit. You know what I mean?
Of course they do. Everyone's their own worst critic.
Mm-hmm. So I can see it. Like who cares? I mean, be with the person that's good for you, I guess.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I guess she was with him, you know, when he didn't have any. There's a lot of stories like that too. Like it's unfortunate that a lot of people who once they get on, they kind of ditch their old life, which is crazy to me because these are all the people who stuck by you when they had nothing to gain.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now that you make it, you kick them out of the circle. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me unless they do something to get kicked out of the circle.
Right.
But, you know, we all know people with tons of money whose circle is so small, it's crazy. You know what I mean? And for that reason, because they don't know who they can trust. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I just want the money. Everything else you could keep. Yeah. You know, you can keep it for yourself. Yeah, the
fame and all that extra riffraff and everything that comes with it.
Right. Well,
I just want to travel the world.
With the bag, that's it.
That's it. And start my rescue. That's it. Doggies. Yeah.